Welcome to Networking Working, the podcast where real business stories meet meaningful connections. Brought to you by Business Matching UK, the UK's first business matching membership service with a business opportunity guarantee. Whether you're building something new, scaling something established, or just exploring smarter ways to move your business forward, you are in the right place.
Welcome back to Networking Working, the BM UK podcast. In this episode, we're joined by Tom Brook from Another Concept, a marketing agency helping businesses build stronger brands, connect with audiences, and bring ideas to life through strategy, design, and storytelling. Welcome to Networking Working, Tom.
Thank you very much for having me.
So to start us off, what does your business do and who do you help?
I'm Tom Brook. I am the content director and co-founder of a digital marketing agency called Another Concept. We specialise in performance marketing, so search engine optimization, pay-per-click advertising, content marketing, and digital PR. We do other things around the side, such as email and bits of social, but they're our core services. We've got an office in the centre of Leeds on Call Lane. We were founded in 2023. We have 4 co-founders who each have more than a decade of experience in various forms of digital marketing, and each of us lead our own service. So there's always an expert with at least a decade worth of experience working within each service. I met our other co-founders more than a decade ago working at one of the big agencies in the UK, and we all went our different ways and came back together. And it does also mean that I get to work with my friends every day, which 95% of the time is great. I've worked with some of the biggest brands in the UK, and there's just tons and tons of experience within the agency. I think it's one of the things that sometimes you do lack a little bit with going with a smaller agency. Our founding belief really was that a lot of businesses out there just aren't getting value from their agency partners, whether that be a freelancer, whether it be a big agency or anyone in between, really. I think there are some agencies out there that claim they're an agency and they're not. They're one person and a lot of freelancers. And then those people are often overstretched and not delivering on what they say they're going to do. And then at the other end of the scale, some of the big agencies are just really bloated these days. You've got a new business person who brings you in and then someone else onboards you and then you're dealing with an account manager. It's all really slow. And you just can't speak to the person that's actually doing the work on your account and finding out what's happening, which is just a bit of a nightmare, really, if you're not getting the results that you want. Our approach, as I've already hinted at, is that we're very founder and expert-led. If we're talking about you potentially partnering with us, you'll be speaking to me or the relevant service leader at the start of that process. That person then does the onboarding with you. You've got that person's email address. You've got that person's WhatsApp number. We love doing work on WhatsApp. It's just a really easy way to get things you need. If you're about to run into a meeting and you need to know the numbers, you don't want to be sat drafting a really long email out. If you just want to say, can I get these numbers? Yep, here you go. We pride ourselves on that communication element. One thing I've become increasingly aware of since doing this and just having conversations and doing networking is people are very aware that when it comes to SEO in particular, there's this so-called black box or agency black box. And people will say to me like, we've had someone doing the SEO before, it just didn't work. I didn't know what they were doing month to month. I didn't understand what they were trying to achieve. I occasionally got a report that didn't really make any sense. Everything that we do tries to open that black box up. The personal communication is a really important part of that. It also means that if you're paying money for a service, you know exactly what's happening. So we'll bring you on board. We'll give you the projections. We'll show you the roadmap. Here's how the next 3 to 6 months we think look. And then you get an update on that every month. It's here's what we're going to do this month. We go in, then we do it. We report on that. We agree a date and a time for a call. Not everybody wants it. That's okay. But that option's there for you. We'll run through exactly what we did and why. Here are the findings of that. Based on all of that information, here's what we want to do next month. Do you agree? Does it work? We go away and do it. Nice and simple. I hate this concept that people are like, oh, I'm paying for SEO and I just don't know what I'm getting. It seems to be really common in marketing. And I don't really understand why, because I don't think there's any other area of a business where you'd happily be spending a lot of money and just not knowing what the ROI on that is. Desperately trying to get people away from these. I've tried it, it doesn't work. I did it, I had no idea what it was that they were actually doing. It's the key thing for me to try and correct. And my background personally is I've now got 13 years worth of experience as a copywriter and a content marketer. I joined one of the largest marketing agencies in the UK pretty much straight out of university as a part-time junior copywriter. I loved it. I've always had a bit of a creative flair, and just the idea of going to write and do different things every day was really good. And then I started to be like, scratching a bit of a creative itch, and then got more into the content marketing side and doing big content strategies for people. What's it look like on the blog? Where's the social element? How do we tie in PR? I got into a bit of the more data nerdy side of things and learned how to join those things together. In a 5-year period, I learned a lot and grew quickly. As I say, I started as a junior copywriter. I was the team manager when I left. I reached a point where I felt like my time here is done. It's been great. I've really enjoyed it, but this is the limit. I need to go and do something else now. I went freelance, and the downsides of sometimes working within an agency, which I'm hoping our staff wouldn't say, is you don't necessarily have the creative freedom. Someone else sells the work and then gives it to you. Some days I'd just be writing about foreign exchange all day or banks and loans. I just thought I want to do something a bit different now and find my own niche and way in the world. So I went freelance for 5 years and did a mix of agency support, but also just working directly and helping a lot of businesses, and even to some extent agencies just don't have the capacity to have a content team. There's not enough content to write. It's not a full-time job, but they just don't understand the importance of it and how to get it out there. I love doing that. I started to grow quite quickly, and I started working alongside my friend Rich, who's now a co-founder of the company, basically to sell in the PR element. We had a really creative content and PR offering, and something quite unique in the freelance world, I think, that we just shared quite a lot of clients, and we were like, Tom's doing the content, Rich is doing the PR. That worked. That scaled as well, which was great. But we realized that there was only so much we could do on a creative side without having the technical underpinnings and people who really knew about putting the SEO infrastructure in place to support it, or putting some paid ads in there as well, just to boost how all the content and the creative was performing. So we got back in touch with Marcus and Alex, who we'd worked with at the old agency and stayed in touch with. How do you fancy coming and helping us with this? They did a little bit on the side in evenings and weekends, and we just reached a tipping point and saying we've met each other at so many pubs over the years and talked about what it'd look like if we ever did create our own agency. Do we actually do it? And then finally took the plunge and haven't looked back. There's now the 4 of us leading a service each, and we've got 4 full-time members of staff and looking to keep growing this year. And then as for who we help, normally people come to me in one of 2 situations. The first one's quite negative. Someone will come and say, Tom, I've been using this agency, I've been using this freelancer, we've had someone in-house, whatever. It's broken. The tracking just doesn't work. We were ranking, we're now not ranking. We're spending tons of money on PPC ads and just getting no return on it at all. It's on fire. Please, can you help us sort it out? And the other one, which is a little bit more enjoyable to start with, is an owner-operator or a marketing manager will come up to you and say, we've just set these really ambitious growth targets. We want to double revenue this year. We want to sell 30% more products this year. We just don't know how to reach them. Can you help with that? So they're 2 very different approaches and different conversations to have with people, but they both lead to really productive ways of working. If you've got a problem to do with your website, or you've got a very specific goal or something you want to achieve via the website, we can help you do that essentially. We can help you identify how much money it's probably going to take, what the return on the investment on that would look like, and then which channels are best for you to grow. Because we have the range of specialisms within the business, we don't have to force people a specific way. We can genuinely do what is best for the client, which I'm sorry to say is a little bit unique within the world of marketing.
Fantastic. What an amazing journey you've had.
This episode of Networking Working is brought to you by Business Matching UK, the UK's first business matching membership service with a business opportunity guarantee. If you're tired of turning up to networking events that lead nowhere, BM UK guarantees to offer something different. Structured, supported, and strategically driven business development, designed to connect the right people in the right way at the right time. With a blend of face-to-face and online meetings, plus 7 unique mechanisms, BM UK guarantees real business opportunities, and that guarantee is the cornerstone of what makes us different. Stop chasing leads and referrals. Start matching with meaningful opportunities. Register your interest today at www.business-matching.co.uk. Business Matching UK. Matching ambition with opportunity.
How did you first get involved with BM UK and what drew you to the community?
Paul reached out to us directly, which I really appreciated. It's not like getting a faceless sales email, which you get sometimes. Come join this group. We meet every Wednesday, blah, blah, blah. It was nice to have. Of what I've now learned is it's always a very long phone conversation that you have with Paul. There's no such thing as a quick call with Paul. He needed a marketing agency to join. There was space in the group for it. And one thing that I thought was nice for us as a bit of proof of concept is it just Googled looking for a marketing agency. And because we specialise in SEO, we were right up there. We then went to the taster sessions from there. Initially, Alex, my business partner, went and then I took over it. I just really enjoyed the feel of it. It was nice and informal in a relaxed setting. And just the pace and the frequency of those meetings works really well for us. As I've mentioned, there's 4 of us. All 4 of us have quite young families. So this concept of, we have this, as I say, networking every Wednesday and it's 6:30 in the morning just doesn't work for us. It's just too much of a time commitment when you have things like the school run to consider as well. Sometimes it's on Zoom and you can meet people from different groups as well. So you're not just always talking to the same people. Or sometimes it's face-to-face, so you still get out there, but you're not doing it all the time. But the main benefit for us is the limited group size works really, really well for us. I've been to 4 or 5 different networking events now, and I go in there and there's normally at least 3 other marketing agencies, and there's 3 other marketing agencies that have been in the room for 2 years. And you just feel like I'm not ever going to get leads from this. So the idea that you may only have one quote unquote competitor within that room, and they're normally a different size to you, is something that works really well for us.
How do you see BM UK supporting your future growth?
BM UK is a great tool for supporting our future growth. It was the end of our financial year at the end of May, and we're talking a lot about what new business do we do this year, and just having an integrated networking group as part of that is really important for us, and just getting us out there as a business. I think particularly as an internet-based business, it's very easy to sit at home and just sit on your laptop all the time. You need to get out there. And as part of that, we've already worked with one of the members from the Newcastle group, having conversations with other people as well. So we are already getting work from it, which is great. And I'm always having interesting conversations with people at the face-to-faces. One of the things that we offer is a completely free audit service. And we talk you through our current position and where you could go. So putting a couple of those together. And I'm really excited for the formation of the sector-specific groups. I think that's a really great idea to get people together, and this idea of working collaboratively, helping each other and supporting each other, because there are certainly things that we don't offer that other members in the group do offer. It's great to hear in a lot more detail about those. It's just great to be constantly making connections with new people. There are new people in new businesses at every event that I go to. Every time I walk through the door at the Leeds group, I see someone I've not met before. And it doesn't feel like a stale group where you're just constantly having the same conversations with the same people. And then finally, Paul's been talking about the external opportunities that him and Phil are looking at are going to be great for us. Still just looking at whatever way we can engage in that and take things to the next level.
How does networking within BM UK differ from other networking experiences you've had?
I hinted at this before, but for us, it's just great to be the marketing agency in the room. I've done it before and been to ones, and it's like you've got a marketing agency who's the headline sponsor, and then the marketing agency who also knows the person that set it up, and then there's another 2 or 3 in the room, and you just walk in there and you think, this has just been a really well-worked room, and I'm not going to get any kind of lead from this, really. But the other main benefit or difference I've noticed between BM UK and other networking groups is that I rarely go to a BM UK meeting and talk to someone and feel like they're selling to me. I've been to a lot before and I've walked into the room and someone is just immediately telling me, this is my business, this is what we do you want it? That's a really off-putting approach to networking. It maybe does work for them on occasion, but it's not the way that I like to do business, certainly. And I feel 90% of the conversation I have at BM UK are really engaging. Even if I'm talking to someone who already has an agency or just doesn't need that support for any reason, they listen to what I'm saying, take it on board, and actually are still really happy to say, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Or maybe I could introduce you to so-and-so. So you're actually having meaningful conversations with people, and pretty much everyone there is looking to make connections rather than just selling whatever product it is that they sell. In the online meetings, you can be paired with people from Newcastle or Manchester and even London as well. So you're not just confined by the room. The sessions are structured really well to make you actually think about how your business is performing and ways that you could improve it. So rather than just everyone sitting saying, this is my business, this is what we do, does anyone want marketing services? It makes you think of what are the biggest challenges, what would you never outsource? And it means that you just get really creative thoughts from other people who have different ideas and just coming from different perspectives, which is a nice knowledge share and an extra way of adding value.
Who are you ideally looking to hear from, Tom?
One of the great things about us is that we can work with almost anybody. As I've mentioned, we do those free audits. Very occasionally, that will reveal that we're actually not the right partner for you. We might not offer a specific service that would work really well for you, or you might be better off just saying, actually, this is better suited to a freelancer and we can just put a referral in, we will know somebody. But generally speaking, if you are looking to grow your business and you are very growth minded and you want to grow it via a website, we can work with you and we can help. We have experience in all niches and sectors. I've worked on everything from quite complex financial things to concrete to football clubs and pretty much everything in between. We like working with e-commerce brands. I find those brands are great because if you're selling something directly through the website, it's really easy to show what the return on investment looks like and how we've directly impacted that. That said, one of our biggest clients is a rugby news publisher. We all love sport, so anyone who works in the world of sport is great for us. I would also say that I talked a lot about the importance of communication and showing exactly how you're doing the work. We get the best results when someone's fully bought into the process. So if you're either the owner of a business or you employ a marketing manager and you're really willing to engage with an agency, tell us what the USPs are, give us the specific targets. This is where we want to be. This is how we're thinking about getting there. If you are actively involved in that and don't just want to just hand something off and go, here you go, I think we are probably the right agency for you. But I would say a little bit of budget also helps on this. You can't achieve really good results on a shoestring budget. You do need to have an investment, so you would also need a marketing budget.
How can people find you and the business?
Hopefully we're easy to find. We are anotherconcept.co.uk for the website, and we've got a contact form on pretty much every page. We're Another Concept on LinkedIn, or if you want to email us, it's hello@anotherconcept.co.uk. If you want to reach out to me personally, I'd be more than happy to speak to you or arrange a meeting. You can email tom@anotherconcept.co.uk, or my LinkedIn is tombrook1992.
If BMUK were a single tool in your desert island survival kit, what would that tool be and why?
I spent a long time thinking about this one, actually. And then I had a conversation with Paul at the last face-to-face about the importance with engaging with the group. And it made me think, so I would say it's some kind of megaphone or flare. In itself, it's a really, really useful tool, but you actually have to proactively use it. Otherwise, it's giving you no benefit whatsoever. I do think that is the same with networking groups. A lot of people will say, oh, we're in a networking group. And that's great, but being in a networking group doesn't mean that you are networking. If you're not turning up to the face-to-faces, if you're not turning up to the Zooms, if you're not proactively setting up your own one-to-ones, chasing follow-ups that you've had from people, posting in the WhatsApp and the LinkedIn group that we have, I think you're really ticking a box. And at that point, you're not really going to see value from doing the networking. You can't say, oh, I'm in BMUK, I expect Paul to be giving me leads. That's not his job. You still have to go away and get a business for yourself.
I love that answer. You're so right. Thank you so much, Tom. It's been great hearing how Another Concept helps businesses turn ideas into standout creative work, strengthening how they present themselves in a crowded and fast-moving marketplace. Thank you so much for your time today.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much for having me.
If today's episode gave you fresh insight, a practical takeaway, or simply something to think about, hit follow, leave us a rating or review, and share the episode with someone else navigating the same landscape. Networking Working is powered by Business Matching UK, a movement changing the way businesses connect, collaborate, and grow. If you're ready to take a more strategic, supported approach to your business development, one that's built on strategy, not chance, then BMUK is what you didn't know you needed. Visit www.business-matching.co.uk to explore more and register your interest.
The information in this podcast is for general guidance and entertainment purposes only. The Networking Working podcast shares ideas and experiences to inspire and inform, and we believe they can be valuable, but they may only reflect part of your own business journey. We always recommend seeking independent advice and using your own judgment to decide what's right for your business. We encourage you to do your own research before making any decisions. The opinions in this episode are our own and those of our guests, and we do our best to ensure the content is accurate and relevant at the time of recording. If you have any questions or would like to continue the conversation, you can reach us at info@business-matching.co.uk. Thank you for listening.